Hello, my name is Anki and I'm coming to you from Turku, Finland. I'm filming this in my garden, which is a great inspiration for me. This is the first ever episode of Ullrike by Anki's podcast about knitting, doing things together, great things in life, and it will be a little bit about well-being and knitting and handicrafts, whatever I think fits this podcast. I welcome you to this journey. This is totally new to me and it's very exciting. I will do my best to record the episodes in English since I have a feeling that I really don't know what language to choose. Finland is a bilingual country. My mother tongue, my native language is Swedish, and the most of the Finnish people are Finnish speaking, and I have difficulty choosing between these languages. And of course, I think English is probably my favorite language of the languages I've learned during my life. And a great deal of knitting happens in English. I mostly use English patterns because I think they're clear. I don't know about you. Oh, we have a butterfly. I hope it won't be. Oh, it could be nice having it join us because it had wonderful colors. I'm totally bad at naming butterflies and species, but let's see if it tunes into our video. I'll just ask my husband. He's great with that bit. He's great with butterflies. I do yarn. I've been knitting for I don't know how many years. I lost count. I don't count my own years anymore. 50 plus, living in Finland. I have a background in teaching and travel industry as well, and I do a lot of things. When I started actively knitting, I didn't really find colors that suited me in the shops around here. It was about 25 years ago, could it be? Oh, that hit hard. It was like yesterday. Anyway, and the more I knit, the more I realized that the things that I knit in colors that I didn't like and didn't suit me were unused. I don't like having things that I don't use. It takes up space, and it's like having a guilty conscience all the time. And I don't think that there's a point in wearing things that make you feel bad. I am very sensitive to colors. I've had a lot of trouble with blue. I don't feel great in blue, and Finland loves blue and beige. I don't count beige as a color, by the way. The more I knit and the more I came across new kinds of yarns, hand-dyed yarns. Oh, the first experience, it was mind-blowing. The more I started to wonder how I could create my own colors, and there was still not so much here in the yarn shops in Turku. The knitting boom had not come yet. It came about 5 years ago, something like that. And I started experimenting and reading a lot about colors and how to dye your own yarns. I had a need for learning more, and I had a very, very strong urge and dream about getting an education in handicrafts and the textile industry, and I was dreaming about making a living out of knitting and yarns and stuff like that. So I started studying and got an artisan degree weaving. I haven't touched my loom since I got my degree because the yarns and knitting just got a hold of me. My favorite colors are vibrant. I have difficulty dyeing neutral yarns. One of my go-to colors is this beautiful orange copper heart color. This is one of my signature colors, as well as actually this golden forest color. This is a new design published last week in a magazine in Finland in Finnish. This design, Kiertotie socks, was made by my very good friend Catrine Kudinoff. And I must say, these socks fit very well, and you can actually adjust the size by adjusting the needle size. You can get the pattern in this magazine, Koko Perheen Sukat. I don't think it will be impossible to have the pattern translated into English. It's more about question of time. I think I will talk to Catrine, and as soon as we can publish this pattern in English, we'll probably do that. Catrine is one of my best friends, and she has kind of the same interest in patterns and knitting as I do. This is a very nice pattern with a little easy cables and structure and moss stitch, and oh, I really do want to make these socks. What do you think about the pattern? I think it's great. I was thinking about, since these model socks are in the yellow, I don't know whether I should knit them in this orange from my own range of yarns. So this is the Merino sock base, a fingering sock base, very, I think it's wonderful because it's my go-to base. It's 425 meters in 100 grams. Can use it for anything basically. I have sweaters, cardigans, socks of course, and also scarves knitted out of these. And I think these colors work really well. I think they would work well in that pattern. This is Comtessa and Conifer and Copper Heart. So I will be having trouble deciding which color. That's not my only trouble. I have this urge to cast on absolutely everything. I don't know where to start. I don't know. I need cardigans. I love sweaters. I've had a bit of trouble knitting socks the past 2 years because I was supposed to take part in a challenge where you knit 1 pair of socks each month. I started the first. I think I completed the first pair of socks during the first month, and then nothing happened. I didn't want to knit socks. I've started several, and I've knitted about the cuff, or if I started with at the toe, from the toe up, I probably knitted about 5 centimeters and then nothing. And I made an attempt during Christmas last year to knit socks, because I do have quite a lot of socks, but I wear them a lot, and they started to get holes and stuff like that and not look so good. So I decided I knit some more socks, and I started in this lush green colorway, first path. I started to knit my socks toe up, and well, I always use 2.25 millimeter needles, magic loop nowadays, and it went on fine. I completed the first sock during the Christmas holidays, and then I had trouble casting on for the second sock. You know, second sock syndrome. And then we went on a week's holiday to the Canary Islands at the end of January. And when I came back, I started knitting the other sock. And during the knitting process, I was really, really wondering how it looked so differently. Like the stitches were quite a little bit bigger, and I checked, I had the same needle. And I kept on knitting, and I kept on knitting. And at some point, when the second sock was almost complete, I took a look at them side by side. The second sock was about half a centimeter, 5 or 6 millimeter bigger than the first sock. My gauge was so loose that it has never been. Don't go on vacation or knit the second sock right away. So finally, I had a vacation now in August, the first 2 weeks of August. I managed to knit the second sock. And it seems like my stress levels are at the same level as last December, because it fits and the gauge is spot on with the first sock. So I've completed that pair. Then I completed another pair for which I bought the yarn at the craft fair in Tampere, Suomen kädentaidot, last November. And this is actually not dyed by me, this is dyed by my good friend Taivaanranta Yarns. Elina dyes these wonderful self-striping yarns. This is the Fangorn sock set. And I love how the colors fit, just like, of course, made for each other. I love this. I'll gift these socks to my daughter because she loves the Tolkien books about the ring and the quest. So do I. Fangorn is a favorite. And then that was pair number 2. And pair number 3 is again basic socks, dyed by me, yarn dyed by me, in the Christmas color from last year, which was a spur of the moment idea during knit camp. I, with my business, teams up with another yarn dyeing company in Finland, Aara Yarn, and we arranged knit camps. And during one knit camp, we talked about color and color philosophy and stuff like that. And then I came up with the idea to dye a Christmas color, and that's it on my glitter sock base. It's a very nice yarn, quite luxurious, I might say. And I love playing with colors. I at first dyed this with only the black and the reds, and I thought it was quite dull. It didn't speak so much, and then I added a little bit of blue here and there, and that like made a sing to the yarn and lifted the colorway. So I've got my sock knitting mojo back, and now I'm really planning to knit a lot of socks. But I also want to knit stranded color work, because I'm quite bad at it. I'm a tight knitter, and I really don't get the strands good enough. Either too loose or they're too tight. So I have to work out that bit. I have to make some samples. I love color play and how colors sing together sometimes. Some color choices look suspicious when you put the skeins side by side, and when you start knitting they're just wonderful. So that's something I'm going to work on, and I've been spending my weekend quite a lot checking for patterns. There's a lot. So I do have trouble deciding what I will knit. I love simple knits like the shawl. That's the pattern in the making. It's being test knit, and I still have to figure out the end so it will be nicer. But this is a reversible, very easily knit small one skein wonder shawl, which I designed with my friend Johanna when we organized a trip to Gotland in Sweden last spring in May. We went there with a busload of knitting people, and it was quite fun. I can insert some so you can tag along on our trip to Gotland. And the pattern was made for this trip, and it will be published either on my social media or somewhere else, probably also on Ravelry when it's completely done. It's quite a quick knit, and I've had it with me for a few times, and people have been quite fascinated by it. But you can see here the cable is totally reversible, and it's very easy to knit. That's always a plus when you can get a great detail and great value out of small things. And that is something I also shall explore more. What I'm enjoying most knitting is probably something that needs a little bit more attention. I'm just knitting this beautiful cable sweater for Veera Välimäki. It is too hot now to try it on, but I think this will be an excellent sweater to wear during the Finnish cold winter. And I also like lace. I don't do it that much, but lace is a detail I think is quite nice. You can play with it a lot. I also like to use all the yarn I have, so this Westknit Vertices Unite is a good example of how you can use all your leftovers from your sock projects or your shawls and stuff. I coordinated the colors, same colors from the same color family, and then put in a very dark grey to lift it up. We have a squirrel in the apple tree over there. It's stealing all our apples. He's a cheeky little fellow. He doesn't mind me sitting here. He comes quite near. He's probably wondering why the heck this lady is only talking to herself. Oh, and then, even though I like to knit things with a lot of details and some structure that needs attention all the time, there's always room for a quick, easy knit something you can take along when you go somewhere you have to wait for some time at the doctor's office or something like that, or if you go somewhere by bus or train and you need to have something. But I really don't like just sitting and knitting, and nowadays I cannot watch TV without knitting anything. This is the simple thing, designed by, I don't remember, I'll put it down here and in the description. This is a one skein wonder. This is knit in my new Misty soft base with baby alpaca, silk and cashmere. This is wonderful, but it's a DK yarn. It's like, it feels a little bit too warm to use yet, but come end of September, October, I will wear it all the time. And this shawl is a nice little number, easily worn under your coat. Oh, it almost fell. The squirrel. He's too fast, otherwise I would have tried to take a picture. But he steals all our apples. We maybe, not all, we got half of them saved. He just comes and grabs them and runs away. Another finished object is this love note. I'm probably the last one to start it. I was very hesitant to begin because it's cropped. I usually don't like cropped sweaters. Like all my finished objects, I haven't woven in the ends yet and haven't blocked them yet. I don't know if, probably this needs, I should steam the lace part probably. I don't know if it needs to be blocked. I'll decide that later. Right now there's a lot of yarn drying and there's no space for blocking things. I love this pattern. It was a pleasure to knit. The sleeves were a bit of trouble for me. It's boring, but I managed. And what else? What I have in mind? What am I planning? I bought a lot of grey yarns, especially in Gotland. This is, we went to a nice farm. They have a lot of sheep, Gotland sheep, and I think that, was it Dorset? I don't remember. They have their own yarn. What was special about it, I think it's sport weight. They haven't mentioned how much there is, how many meters there is in a 100 gram skein. But this is beautifully soft. Absolutely wonderful. And I don't know what to do. Should I dye it or should I just go? You do need grey cardigans, I think. I think this will be a cardigan. I'm not sure. Maybe I could knit the LYS cardigan by Andrew Mowry. I don't know. I don't know. It's lovely anyway. It's so soft and kind of plumpy. I think it's... I did have a ball of yarn here somewhere. I think it's 2-ply. Let's check. Yes, it's 2-ply. Probably sport weight. Look, I've tied the label. Usually I just lose them and don't know what yarn it is. I love buying yarn. One hobby is knitting, one is collecting yarn. Now there's a lot of stray yarn that needs a good home. I really want to do something, but this yarn, it feels so special. I think I need a perfect pattern for it. Or maybe I should just knit a swatch. I'd really like to start. Swatches are great, but they can lie. They lied with this cabled sweater quite a lot. I need to have a perfect pattern for this. If you have suggestions, please write to me. Special yarns need special patterns, and there's a lot. I have a difficulty of choosing whether it's olive oil, wine, or patterns or yarn. Oh God, if there are several options, I will just keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. I probably need to have some kind of assistant to choose the patterns for me. Or the wine. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, another great acquisition. This has nothing to do with Gotland. This has, we went to a spinning mill called Gotland Spinneri in Fardhem, the southern part of Gotland. It is operated by 3 women at the moment, quite young women, and they're very energetic and excited about the spinning mill, and they also spin the fibers from Gotland sheep, and this is their one single ply yarn. No, this is the 2 ply. The single is this is the chase. I think that's 2 ply, yes. It's quite hard to... It looks like a single ply when you check it. Chase means girl in the Gotland dialect language, I'd say. But this second one is originated from a little island called Vänö in the archipelago southwest of Turku, in the southwestern part of Finland. And this is lambswool from Finnish sheep. This is 2 ply and its sport weight 300 meters per 100 grams. And this is so soft. And I don't think this should be used in a pattern which goes for stitch definition. I don't know. I will have to make a swatch of this too, but I only have 2 skeins, one in light grey and one like this, and I think, well, it almost looks brown, but this is dark grey with brown tones. I think I will have to order some more. I had my husband with me when I bought the yarn, and he was wondering why I bought yarn when I have so much. My workspace is now kind of exploded, full of boxes with yarn and stuff like that. I'm preparing for the autumn season, and there's a commission going on. So he really doesn't understand why I need more yarn. And I can confess, I'm a yarn junkie. I love yarn. It makes me feel good. If I have like feel kind of bad and I can't really get knitting done, or the knitting goes the wrong way, I do make a mistake or something like that, then I can just hug my yarn and feel better again. And this is that kind of feel good yarn. That's the first clipping of lambs, and this really, there's lanolin in this, and it smells like sheep, not disturbingly much, but this is the real stuff. This is happy yarn. Not good for socks. This is 100% Finship wool and very soft. So I will have to plan that. If you have any suggestions for that kind of yarn, feel free to comment. I have tried to figure out what I do need in my wardrobe, and I need more cardigans, and the only patterns I look at are sweaters, but maybe I should do like my friend Johanna does, make a steak. I made it several times. I've sticked my knits, and it's still kind of strange and scary to do that, even though I know it works. Well, that's something I'll have to work on. Well, I do have a plan what I will be making, probably. Jenna Kostet, who also designed these Kalevala knits, has designed a new sweater for Taivaanranta, and I might have to knit this Kratti sweater. I don't have yarn suitable enough, but I think this is Aran weight, and if I choose a DK weight, I might just, well, knit a larger size. I don't know. It's tricky. The size and the fit are very, very problematic things sometimes. I have a sweater waiting to be ripped because it doesn't fit well, so I won't make it. What are your knitting plans? Please tell me. Write in the comments. Do you have a favorite pattern you like? A pattern you go to time after time, or do you always want to try out new patterns? What's your knitting style? I'd be interested to know. You can find me as Ullrike by Anki on Instagram, and in Ravelry as Garnaboa. If you enjoyed this first episode, please hit the like button. For next time, I have a really good surprise. The next episode will be in Finnish because I have a difficulty interviewing a Finnish person in English. The next episode will be about, of course, yarn, patterns, designing, and stuff like that. Stay tuned. Hope you liked this episode. Bye bye.